Chapter 11: Dynamic Pricing and Revenue Management. Welcome to Chapter 11 of the Guide to Short-Term Rental Management. So far, we have covered the operational intricacies of guest communication and ensuring exceptional hospitality. Now, we pivot to a critical strategic function that directly impacts the financial success of the properties you manage and, consequently, your own business: dynamic pricing and revenue management. In the short-term rental market, setting a static price and hoping for the best is a surefire way to leave money on the table or suffer from prolonged vacancies. Effective revenue management involves intelligently adjusting your pricing and booking strategies in response to a multitude of market factors to maximize both occupancy and revenue. This chapter will explore key strategies from daily pricing adjustments to seasonal considerations and managing owner payouts with transparency. At the heart of modern revenue management for short-term rentals is the implementation of daily pricing strategies, often referred to as dynamic pricing. This approach moves away from fixed, unchanging rates and instead involves continuously adjusting your rental prices based on a real-time interplay of supply and demand, local events, the specific day of the week, the booking window, and other influencing factors. The ultimate goal is to maximize both revenue and occupancy by capturing the optimal rate for each available night on the calendar. Several factors influence these daily rate decisions. The day of the week is a primary driver. Demand for leisure travel is typically higher on weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, often warranting higher rates. Weekdays might see lower demand and thus require more competitive pricing, unless catering to business travelers. Local events can cause significant spikes in demand. Concerts, major festivals, large conferences, sporting events, or university graduations can all allow for premium pricing. It's also important to monitor competitor pricing. Understanding the rates being charged by similar properties in your immediate vicinity helps you position your offerings effectively. The booking lead time is another important variable. Rates for last-minute bookings might be increased if demand is high and availability scarce, or potentially discounted to fill unexpected gaps, often called orphan day strategies. Conversely, bookings made far in advance might be priced differently based on forecasted demand. You might also incorporate discounts or premiums based on the requested length of stay, encouraging longer bookings with slightly lower nightly rates. This also ties into minimum stay settings that we will discuss shortly. Finally, property-specific attributes such as unique amenities, a hot tub, a great view, the size and configuration of the property, and importantly, recent positive guest reviews can all support higher daily rates. To implement these daily pricing strategies effectively, property managers utilize various tools. Some may undertake manual adjustments based on their own ongoing research and market knowledge, which can be very time-consuming, especially with a larger portfolio. Many property management systems now offer native pricing tools, ranging from basic rule-setting capabilities to more advanced algorithms. For the most sophisticated approach, many managers turn to specialized third-party dynamic pricing software, such as PriceLab's, Wheelhouse, or Beyond. These tools typically use complex algorithms, vast amounts of market data, including competitor rates, demand signals, and historical trends, and sometimes machine learning to recommend or even automatically adjust daily rates across your portfolio. Understanding how these tools work and how to configure them according to your specific strategy and property characteristics is key to their successful use. Beyond daily fluctuations, a fundamental component of short-term rental revenue management is adjusting your pricing strategy to account for high and low season demand. Accurately identifying and pricing for these distinct periods is crucial for maximizing revenue throughout the year. The first step is defining these seasons for your specific market or markets. Peak or high seasons, shoulder seasons, the periods just before and after peak, and off-peak or low seasons are influenced by a variety of factors. These typically include prevailing weather conditions, such as summer for beach destinations or winter for ski resorts, major holidays like Christmas, New Year, Easter, or national holidays, school schedules such as summer breaks and spring breaks, and the seasonality of major local attractions or activities. Once these seasons are identified, you need to make appropriate pricing adjustments for the high season. During these periods of peak demand, you can typically set significantly higher base nightly rates. It is also common practice during high season to implement longer minimum stay requirements to maximize occupancy with fewer turnovers. The overall strategy here is to fully capitalize on the peak demand and achieve the highest possible revenue per available night. Conversely, pricing adjustments for the low season require a different approach to stimulate demand when it naturally wanes. This usually involves setting lower base nightly rates to make your properties more attractive in a less competitive market. You might also consider offering promotions or discounts, such as stay 3 nights, pay for 2, or percentage discounts for longer stays. Implementing shorter minimum stay requirements during the low season can also help attract more bookings, including weekend getaways or shorter trips that guests might not consider during peak times. During these slower periods, you might also focus on attracting different guest segments, such as longer stay guests like remote workers or snowbirds, who are often looking for value and are less tied to traditional vacation schedules. The shoulder seasons represent the transition periods between high and low demand. Pricing during these times should also transition, gradually increasing as you approach high season and decreasing as you move into low season, allowing you to capture as much revenue as possible while remaining competitive. Effective seasonal pricing relies heavily on thorough market research and an analysis of historical booking data for your properties and your region. This data helps you to accurately define the timing of each season and set appropriate price differentials that reflect the varying levels of demand. Another powerful lever in your revenue management toolkit involves the strategic use of minimum stay settings and other booking restrictions. These are not just arbitrary rules. When implemented thoughtfully, they can significantly help optimize occupancy, reduce operational costs, align with seasonal demand patterns, and even prevent undesirable types of bookings. The primary purpose of setting minimum stay requirements, often referred to as minimum length of stay or min-loss, is to improve overall occupancy and profitability. Longer stays generally mean fewer turnover days, which reduces the costs and labor associated with cleaning and guest check-in and check-out procedures. Minimum stays can be particularly effective for aligning with seasonal demand. For example, requiring a 7-night minimum during a peak holiday week ensures you get a full week's booking at premium rates, rather than multiple shorter, less valuable bookings with gaps in between. They can also be used to deter very short stays, such as one-night bookings on a weekend, which some property managers try to avoid due to the potential for parties or higher wear and tear relative to the revenue generated. There are various types of minimum stay settings you can implement. A fixed minimum length of stay might be applied year-round, for instance, always requiring a 2-night minimum stay. More commonly, managers use seasonal minimum length of stay, such as a 7-night minimum during peak summer weeks, but dropping to a 2-night minimum in the low season. You can also implement day-of-week specific minimum length of stay. For example, requiring a 3-night minimum if a stay includes a Saturday night to capture full weekend bookings. Similarly, event-specific minimum length of stay can be applied during major local events or festivals to maximize revenue from those high-demand periods. Beyond minimum stays, other booking restrictions can be employed. No-gap or orphan day prevention strategies aim to avoid those single, unbookable nights that can sometimes appear between longer reservations. This might involve dynamically adjusting minimum stay requirements around existing bookings or using sophisticated length of stay pricing that makes those orphan nights more attractive or incorporates them into adjacent bookings. Some managers in certain markets also implement arrival or departure day restrictions, such as not allowing check-ins or check-outs on a Saturday during peak season to encourage traditional week-long Saturday-to-Saturday bookings. You can also set booking window restrictions, defining how far in advance guests can book your properties, or implementing specific rules and pricing for very last-minute bookings. The key is to find the right impact on revenue by balancing the benefits of potentially higher occupancy and reduced costs from encouraging longer stays against the risk of potentially losing bookings from guests who are specifically seeking shorter stays. Modern property management systems and channel managers are essential tools for implementing these complex stay restrictions, allowing you to manage and synchronize these rules across all your booking platforms from a central dashboard. When distributing your short-term rental inventory across multiple online travel agencies, as well as your own direct booking website, a key strategic decision is how to handle your pricing. Specifically, whether to maintain rate parity or implement channel-specific pricing strategies when adjusting rates across platforms. Rate parity is the practice of maintaining the same base rate for the same property and dates across all your different distribution channels. Historically, some major online travel agencies had clauses in their contracts that mandated rate parity, although the legality and enforcement of these clauses have been challenged and have evolved in various regions. The main argument for rate parity is that it can create a perception of fairness and transparency for guests, as they see the same price wherever they look. However, many property managers are increasingly adopting a channel-specific pricing strategy. This involves strategically adjusting the rates displayed on different platforms to account for factors like varying commission structures or to actively incentivize bookings through preferred channels, such as a direct booking website. For example, if one online travel agency charges a 15% commission while another charges 18%, you might slightly increase the rate on the higher commission platform to achieve a similar net revenue. A common tactic is to offer a slightly lower rate on your direct booking website to encourage guests to book there, saving you the commission fees altogether. Several factors should be considered when deciding on adjustments for different platforms. The most obvious is the commission rates. If your rates are not grossed up to account for these commissions, then bookings from higher commission platforms will yield less net revenue for the owner and for your management company. You might also consider the target audience of each platform. Different online travel agencies sometimes attract different guest segments who may have varying price sensitivities or expectations. Additionally, these platforms often offer promotional opportunities, such as participation in special discount programs or visibility boosters. If you utilize these platform-specific promotions, you need to understand how they affect your base rate and overall net revenue from that channel. Managing these potentially different rate strategies across multiple channels manually would be incredibly complex and time-consuming. This underscores the importance of using a robust channel manager, typically integrated within your property management system. Such a tool allows you to centrally manage your base rates and then apply specific rules, markups, or discounts to different channels while ensuring that your core availability remains synchronized across all platforms. While implementing channel-specific pricing, it is still important to ensure that your overall pricing strategies are logical and transparent enough to avoid significant guest confusion or perceptions of unfairness, which could damage your brand reputation. A cornerstone of a successful and trusting relationship between a property manager and a property owner lies in the handling of finances, particularly the owner payout schedules and the transparency surrounding all financial transactions. Owners entrust you with a valuable income-generating asset, and they have a right to clear, timely, and accurate accounting of its performance. The payout schedule itself should be clearly defined and consistently adhered to. This includes the frequency of payouts. Typically, owners are paid on a monthly basis, but this can vary based on your agreement. The timing of the payout is also important. Owners need to know when they can expect to receive their funds after the end of each statement period. For example, by the 15th day of the following month. The method of payment should also be agreed upon, with direct deposit into the owner's bank account being the most common and efficient method today, largely replacing older methods like physical checks. Absolute transparency in how payout amounts are calculated is crucial. Owners need to see a clear breakdown of all financial activity related to their property. This starts with the gross rental revenue, which should clearly show all income generated from guest bookings during the period. From this gross revenue, all agreed-upon itemized deductions must be clearly listed and explained. This includes your management commission, with the statement clearly showing the commission rate and how it was calculated from the gross revenue. Other common deductions include cleaning fees, especially if these are passed through to the owner or deducted before their payout, any maintenance or repair costs incurred, ideally supported by invoices or documentation as agreed, especially for larger expenses, costs for supplies, if these are billed to the owner, and any other agreed-upon operational expenses. The final statement should then clearly show the net payout amount due to the owner. As we touched upon in Chapter 8, the role of clear, detailed, and professional owner statements is paramount here. These are typically generated by your property management system or accounting system and should be easy for owners to read and understand. Many modern property management platforms also offer owner portal access, giving owners secure online access to view their property's booking calendar, historical financial summaries, and download their statements in real time can significantly enhance transparency and reduce administrative queries. Beyond the formal statements and portals, maintaining open lines of communication is key. Be prepared and available to answer any questions owners may have about their payouts or financial statements promptly, clearly, and patiently. Finally, ensure that all aspects of the payout schedule, the calculation of your management fee, and all potential deductions or charges are explicitly and clearly outlined in your management agreement with the owner. This written agreement serves as the foundational document for financial transparency and helps prevent misunderstandings down the line. This concludes Chapter 11. We have explored the strategies involved in dynamic pricing and revenue management, from setting daily and seasonal rates to managing booking restrictions and ensuring transparent financial reporting and payouts to your owners. In Chapter 12, we will address the operational aspects of managing multiple platforms and listings.